I appreciate you coming. The city breeds a special class of criminal. People die here.
Can we see the Batsuit?
No.
The Batmobile?
Guys, this is gonna be a bloodbath.
We got this.
Ready to break some rules? Okay. I know, I'm hot.
Remember, I work for tips.
How's it going, my fellow Titans? Welcome to a brand new big Titans update video. So I trust that you guys just saw that little promo on the beginning of this video, because HBO Max are really ramping up with little character spot promos. Those ones aren't showing too much detail, but that one showed us a bunch of new scenes, which I really can't wait to get into. But also this video is going to be split up into a little bit of an information dump video, because in the second half, which I will timestamp, so feel free to skip to that if you want to, but I do recommend checking out some of the cool shots that we got in this little promo that we're going to get to in just a second. But in the second portion of this video, I'm going to be going over an interview conducted by Matt Sheehan. I really hope I didn't butcher your name if you happen to be watching this. But he did an interview with Greg Walker, the showrunner. They get into the influences behind Red Hood in this adaptation and a bunch more. And yeah, I just want to give my 2 cents on that, because it's kind of cool to commentate over something like that in the video format. And I thought, why not? Extra Titans content, something to get you all hyped up as well. But not only that, speaking of hyping up, before we get into the breakdown of that little promo, I've got something very exciting to share with you guys. So just like last year where I got screeners for the episodes, this year I've got screeners for Titan Season 3, which allows me to see a few of the episodes in advance. But this year they're letting us do a spoiler-free review on August 6th of the episodes that we've got. Now, I've got the first few episodes of Titan Season 3, so expect a fully non-spoiler discussion and review of the first 3 or 4 episodes of Titans this Friday. So don't worry, I'm not stupid. I will not give anything away. And by the way, don't worry, I haven't seen all of them in regards to this video, so none of the speculation or theories that I say will be taken out of an episode I've seen. I'm not fake like that. I'm not gonna do that. Trust me, there's a few things in this little clip at the beginning of the video that I have no idea really what's going on, but we're gonna get into that. But what I am excited to do after this video is go ahead and watch the first few episodes of Titans, film that video for you guys for this Friday, and just get excited, because I really want to do a video that will give you a very good impression on what I think has changed about Season 3, the vibes from it, is it any better, what's it like being in Gotham, all of that stuff, but no spoilers. So I'm hoping Friday's Titans little non-spoiler review video just gives you a really good hype factor, like a hyperspace drive into the next week for when it actually releases on August 12th. But let's finally get into this breakdown. I do apologize for that long intro. So this promo does indeed show some similar footage from both teaser and the official trailer, because don't forget, we got a teaser trailer, official trailer, now we're getting like these little teasers in the days leading up to the actual release date. But what I was very intrigued to see is that we do get some really cool new footage in it. So at the beginning of the trailer, we do hear Dick Grayson say, "I appreciate you all coming. This city breeds a special class of criminal." Now this is likely when the Titans come to Gotham from San Francisco to help protect Gotham after Bruce takes some time off of being Batman, because as I've speculated many times before in my previous breakdown videos, it's kind of obvious, especially from the official trailer, be a better Batman. So this particular scene is likely when they've arrived or something. But when we hear that narration at the beginning of that little teaser, what I find intriguing is this footage of Jason, because as I'm seeing on the screen right now, as I look down at it, it looks as though his eyes are just getting a little bit darker, or they're already dark. I can't really tell. Maybe it's the lighting, but this could be perhaps due to what we see him inhaling in the trailers, and that is apparently, according to the showrunner, if I remember correctly, he talks about how Jason's going to help kind of overcome his fear through using fear toxin, and we see him literally in the official trailer, which I trust I'm showing on screen, inhale, like, well, using some kind of inhaler with like a little green liquid there. So maybe it's, you know, something he's using to help eliminate his fear, and maybe it gives him some kind of visual change in his eyes. I don't know. I'd love to know your input on that. Do you think, am I seeing things, or do his eyes look a little bit darker in this particular scene? scene. But speaking of, we do get an extended look at the fight that we saw from the official trailer between Red Hood and Nightwing in what, you know, I said in that breakdown video, looks like it could be the very same woods that we saw Dick Grayson running through as a kid. It does look as though from all three two trailers, but now this bonus teasers, that for some reason, you know, Red Hood fights Nightwing now. I can imagine some kind of scenario where he summons him there, and obviously Jason might know about it because maybe Bruce put Jason through the same thing in the same woods since they're both Robins, or were both Robins. Either way though, can't wait for this because it looks like there's going to be a nice showdown. But notice how, and I'm probably slow-moing it for you guys, how Nightwing gets a proper smack in the face, like from Red Hood, like proper oof moment. And I do want to chuck this in from later on towards the end of the mini promo. They show scenes from the exact same scene in the woods of where we get another shot of Red Hood getting an open kick on Nightwing, and I guess this is just meant to symbolize how he can indeed stand toe-to-toe with him. Other clips in this little short promo show a bunch of fast-paced stuff. As you can imagine, they want to show some stuff off in such a small ad, so there's a bunch of little bits of action from Nightwing using his Eskrima sticks on various thugs, to another shot here of whom I believe to be a Nightwing villain. Now this could be indeed Lady Vic, of whom we've heard, I believe through leaks months and months ago now, that she would be coming to the show. She is one of Nightwing's villains. And with the Titans protecting Gotham, it just doesn't surprise me that we get some slightly above thug level villains, if you know what I mean, for the Titans, or Nightwing specifically to fight. I guess what I kind of see here is, in terms of my expectations, it's kind of like a Dr. Light vibes from season 2, or perhaps maybe Gizmo that we saw in the trailer as well. Like maybe that's like a low, well, it's kind of like a low tier thug, but somebody slightly above that, since Gizmo is an actual, you know, established character rather than random thug, if you know what I mean. Just being another decent example. But one thing I did adore is hearing Superboy asking to see the Batsuit, and Dick Grayson's like, no. Okay, what about the Batmobile? And he's just like, no. He shuts down both requests, but it just kind of flashbacks me back to Gar in season 1, being a bit of a fanboy over not only Robin, but Batman. Now, next up from the very fast-paced clips, we get another shot of more Red Hood action. I can't really take too much from this, unfortunately, other than it does look to be a continuation scene from that very brief glimpse that we got from the official trailer of Nightwing versus Red Hood. But what I love about, you know, this short promo, one of my favorite things, because we haven't seen it brought to fruition in the other trailers and promos and stuff, is that we get a glimpse of Raven, as I thought, well, it's kind of obvious, honing, because obviously she went to Themyscira to resurrect Donna, but that will also give her an opportunity to hone her abilities, and that looks like what's going on. She's in Themyscira. You can see that she's training with the Amazons here. She's blindfolded, probably to help enhance her powers to see without seeing, if you know what I mean. I can't wait for this. What I think they're trying to do this season is maybe try and give both Raven a literal but also power growth spurt, and that is kind of what this you know, little crucible for her, maybe, if you will, on Themyscira will be. It will help enhance her abilities. She'll come back hopefully being able to control them, and maybe that will help protect Gotham. I really do wonder how branched off her character arc this season is going to be, because we've got the Titans back in Gotham, but it seems that Raven's going to be here for some time. Like, when does Donna Troy, when does Raven get over to the mainland, if you know what I mean? But ladies and gentlemen, even more Red Hood and Jason in this scene, because I believe this scene right here, judging by the background, you can connect to the official trailer, because this is what we do. We analyze and we compare. So right here, from what I said in that breakdown video, from the official trailer that you're seeing on screen right now, is probably the best shot we've got at the whole Red Hood suit yet, because since a lot of people were complaining about, well, not a lot, but there was a vocal minority, I guess, complaining about the helmet being a bit big, but I said in this shot from the official trailer that it looks great. Like, everything looks proportionate to the body. But then compare that shot to this shot in the little teaser with his helmet off, it looks like the same background. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it is the same location. And what I love about it is Jason looks very unhinged. Now, could this be the reveal moment? I don't know, because as we've just discussed, he has the helmet on, and then he has it off. Maybe he's already revealed it at a time prior to this, and that's why he's taking it off. I don't know, but either way, Jason, Curran Walters, is pulling a very grimacing face, and it looks like it's going to be quite a scene. Up next, guys, I'm very, very interested to see if this, on screen, is a flashback, because this isn't, if you've heard my videos so far, this isn't really something I necessarily expected to see in Titans Season 3, because showing flashbacks of Savannah Welsh before the Killing Joke would mean that she has both her legs. Now, I did mention how maybe she could use a prosthetic leg if they did do something like that, but I wouldn't really expect it, because she does in real life, and she's even posted about it on her Instagram story recently with regards to her prosthetic leg, but we just can't know for sure. But, for example, just judging by Dick's kind of backwards cap, that's usually like a move for productions. That's like an easy kind of de-aging thing for actors, like just put a cap on a boy and turn it backwards. It kind of gives them that youthful vibe. And usually with women, to kind of de-age them, you might do their hair differently or their makeup slightly. And so I'm just guessing that this is a flashback, because seeing Barbara here wear her hair differently from what the other trailers, you know, are, gives me another clue into that. And maybe it's just all connecting to that rekindled romance that we know we're getting when Dick Grayson returns back to Gotham to see a Commissioner Barbara Gordon. Maybe there's going to be context scenes shown in a flashback to when they were romantic before, many years ago. But don't get your hopes up in terms of, oh, this might... Boba's saying flashbacks, this might mean Batgirl flashbacks. No, I really don't expect that. I do want to remain firm on that. But up next, ladies and gentlemen, we see Dove here in a room. And up next, we see Corey's eyes go haywire. So it looks like her powers could still be indeed glitching. But the next thing that caught my eye after this is this look at Donna Troy, because she's wielding a sword here and she's holding it to someone. And from the camera angle, it does look like this is from their perspective on the floor, if you know what I mean. So I wonder if this is after she's been resurrected by Raven, but you can probably guess there's going to be some adverse effects from being resurrected. The most obvious one to go to is maybe like a memory blank, so she doesn't know, so you would kind of react instinctually, defensively, if that makes sense. And maybe... I don't know, though. This doesn't look like she's on Themyscira necessarily, but maybe she's just holding a sword to someone because she's just got brought back to life and she doesn't remember anything or anyone. But I have absolutely no idea there, so I would love to know your speculation down in the comments as well. But another thing, this is what I mean, such a short promo, but so much in it. We see Barbara Gordon, the prior Batgirl, in combat. Now, this looks so awesome to me because I remember the very stunt training video that she posted to Instagram using both sticks as if it was preparation for this very scene. So I do think that it looks like that stunt training video that I'm probably showing on screen was for this very scene in whatever episode it's in, because as you can see here, she's using both batons to fend off someone. I don't know if that's Lady Vic. It kind of has a different... this person has a different get up to the Lady Vic that we saw earlier in the trailer, so it's kind of hard to tell who she's kind of defending herself against while she's sat in a wheelchair, but I'm glad that they're giving a post-Killing Joke Barbara Gordon, Commissioner Barbara Gordon, some action, like actual combat action. Now that's great, and I can't wait to see how she handles herself. Getting towards the end now, we see this next scene of note, which shows Corey in a kitchen unleashing her powers on someone. Now, we did see someone else in the kitchen earlier, and just connecting the background, as always do, the lights. So I'm guessing this is the kitchen in Wayne Manor, and that was Dove. Now, I'm sure Dove is okay, because what we do see here, and it also at the same time, it does look like Beast Boy. I'd leave it up to you. You guys vote who it is, but regardless, we do know Beast Boy and Superboy are in the same room, because we see Connor use his freeze breath to neutralize Starfire's blast of fire. So it looks like Starfire's powers this season are glitching her out to the point of where she might be lashing out at people, because Mama Starfire, you know, the mum of the Titans, as Dick is the dad, I'm sure wouldn't try and kill Connor and Gar, so it probably is without her, you know, intentionally doing this. And then lastly, everyone, we just get some more awesome shots of Nightwing going ham at Dayton Labs, kind of similar stuff to the Dayton Labs fight scenes we saw in all the other trailers. And we get the same shot of Blackfire just kind of doing her, like, you know, kung fu stuff. It looks like she's getting ready for a fight wherever she is. And then up next, we get another blast of fire. God knows what is going on here, but I hope that is not Starfire losing it in Wayne Manor, because that won't be good. And then as for the very, very, very end, what the heck is going on with Hawk here? I have no idea. I mean, he's taking his shirt off. I'm not sure if he's in a boxing gym or whatever. It's hard to really tell, but he says, remember, I work for tips. So I do wonder if this is when maybe Dick contacts him saying we could use your help in Gotham. And he's like, remember, I work for tips. So maybe that's how Hawk and Dove come to Gotham, but you would have thought Hawk and Dove would be with the Titans anyway, because the last shot of Titans Season 2 walking out in San Francisco at the end was them involved in the team-up lineup. But I don't know. I don't know. But that is the new promo, guys. To the best of my ability, dissection of it. But let's move on to the interview, because I find this interview really, really cool because, you know, at the end of the day, getting some insight from the people who work on the show itself is you can't really get much better than that, you know? You're picking the brain of the creator. So Matt Sheehan, who I'll be leaving credit on screen, has conducted an interview with Greg Walker. I'm about to play it. You'll probably see me in the corner somewhere, but I will be leaving a link to this YouTube video in the top pinned comment, the description, and also his Twitter and all the good stuff where you can find him, because he is, by the looks of his Twitter feed, doing another interview with Curran Walters, of which I think, depending on like some of the information we get out of that, I would like to do a video on that as well. So keep an eye on his socials and whatnot for that. But let's dive into this interview.
Talk about that transition into HBO Max. What differences have you been able to see with this season that might be a little different or new than maybe season 1 and 2?
Well, I think the fans will notice a huge push on publicity. You know, you're starting to see, I just noticed a billboard on the way home the other night, driving home from downtown LA. It's, you know, you really feel this kind of muscular presence of a push to get the show out there, and a lot of enthusiasm. I mean, we had it before with the DCU, but it was just a smaller house, smaller shop. And now this is, you know, the full force of a big network behind us. So we feel it. Moving to Gotham meant kind of looking at the show in a different way. San Francisco was a kind of gentler.
I'm just going to pause it before he goes on there. I mean, that's 100% true. Moving from DC Universe to HBO Max is bolstering, like, and as you can tell with the promo that we, you know, went over today, one thing that has always been like a constructive criticism from fans, which, you know, we all love the show, we're passionate about it, but those who have a bit more of their ears to the ground, it's like the marketing from DC Universe hasn't been that tight for the shows like Doom Patrol and Titans and whatnot, to the point of where it's been baffling at times. So it's nice to see that there is more of a push for that marketing this season. You know, as he mentioned, there's billboards, the posters are everywhere, there's more little character promo spots, so it's good to see that. But let's go on.
Town, it didn't have the edges that Gotham have, and we didn't want to pull any punches with Gotham. So, you know, for music, where we had extensive meetings about how we wanted the sound of the Gotham to be, well, from a score level, also from sound design, and then also looking at what Wayne Manor is going to look like, what the Batcave, how we're going to do the Batcave. We buffed out the Batcave and became much bigger, a much bigger set. We also expanded, you know, the world of Gotham. What did we want it to look like? We were faced with the pandemic and people staying inside in Toronto. We were able to tell a story that we wanted to tell about Gotham, which is this town where people are, you know, constrained by fear. And fear dominates all. And so you're not, you know, it's not safe to go outside. And it's a town where there are, you know, areas of hope and people who want to forge a better life, but there's also a lot of people stuck in fear. And that becomes a theme for the season.
Now, before we get on to the next question, that's something that I've always loved about Titans. Their Gotham in season 1 that we saw was absolutely fantastic. So the fact of hearing Greg Walker talk about, like, they went even, I mean, it is natural to hear him talk about that because Gotham is the place, the setting for this season. So they wanted to go ham. And even just seeing the skyline from the trailers that you're probably seeing on screen right now, we get a look at that from the Dick Grayson promo and whatnot. It's just so good looking. And I absolutely fell in love with their vision for Gotham in season 1 when we saw the mini Dick Grayson flashbacks. It was just absolutely, the vision was on point. It was innovative yet familiar, yet the exact tone of Gotham skyline is just beautiful. And just hearing him talk about the state of the city, you know, obviously it's Batman's around and he's been around, but it's still Gotham's Gotham. Hearing him talk about how that is still the case and whatnot is very refreshing.
Interested to hear this. A lot of people are asking and wondering, will season 3 be the best season yet? Do you have any opinion on that? And what would you say?
I mean, that's not my call. You know, we try to make every season the best season yet. So I hope they think so. I hope they like it. You know, we worked hard, and I think there's, you know, you've seen some episodes, and I think the season will do the talking for itself.
And I want to ask about.
And before we get on to that next question, we've heard, I guess, you know, I don't blame Greg Walker for playing it a bit coy there as well, because if he comes out and says, this will be the best, you do not want to set fans up with expectations like that. Now, you may counter that by saying, but shouldn't you have confidence in your own product? Like, yeah, sure, but it's too hard, like, to speak for everyone, saying you're gonna love this season. But now Alan Richardson has said it is the best season. Yeah, of course you're gonna get differing things from different people. I just don't blame him for, like, don't be afraid that he didn't say, or like he said, this show should speak for itself. That's exactly what the he knows what he should be saying. I think it will be. I think based on what we've heard from the actors and, well, what he's even just said there, I think this season will try its best to rectify any issues it's had and also capitalize upon the strength and successes that Titans has had in the past few years.
Virgo, Tim Drake, he's coming into the mix.
Tim
you know,
Drake.
people have seen him in the trailers and stuff, so people know he's coming. What kind of energy does he bring to the show? How does he make things different?
Buoyant. You know, he's so charismatic. He's so skilled, and he has so much craft as an actor. He really captures that energy of Tim Drake. I mean, we've had 3 kind of energetic presences come in of the, you know, people who are more on the innocent side in our show. And we had Gar, we had Jason Todd, and now we have Tim Drake, people who are kind of enamored with this idea of the adult male superhero and what does it mean, and the family and the kind of the mythos. And a lot of these are creations of Jeff Johns, who's one of my partners and who's, you know, kind of an iconic creator in the comics book space. And it really captures Jeff's energy. And so what we wanted to do is really get a guy who was, of course, anytime when you have a story of someone who is, I'll just kind of backtrack a little bit, who really loves this myth, we want to kind of poke the myth and, you know, let the air out of it and let them find their own way into it. And that's really what Jay was able to capture so well, is Tim Drake's love for Batman and Robin and the Titans, as in the books, and then his own path there. And he's a tremendous actor, and, you know, watch his TikTok if you want to have some fun.
So I'm really hyped for Tim Drake, Jay Lycurgo. I know, and it is. I don't want to get too political about this because I know some people don't like the casting, because I just think people need to give it a watch before just judging a casting. I'm absolutely fine with the casting. I have absolutely no issues like some people do. You know, it just baffles me. Some people are really happy with Jeffrey Wright being, you know, a race-bended Jim Gordon in the upcoming The Batman. I 100% agree that he's an amazing casting. I think he's going to bring the essence of Gordon to life so well. So I just don't get why some other actors and characters don't get that same perspective from fans when there's, you know, a slightly different casting, or it didn't really fit. I don't know. As I said, I don't want to get too political, but hearing what he says there about Jay Lycurgo, I think Jay's going to do a great job. I'm very excited for Tim Drake to find out the identities of Batman and Robin and how that's going to suck him into that world. Does he figure it out and then approach someone like Dick Grayson saying, aren't you the Robin? I don't know. But knowing that Tim Drake is going to be such a fanboy from the way Greg Walker talks there, as he should be, I'm very happy. I know some people think they rush things, but this is an adaptation and iteration of Titans and the Bat universe, well, the DC universe, where things are scaled along at a slightly different rate. You know, Batman's a bit older in turn, so is Nightwing. He became Nightwing at 30, not freaking 18. You know, I say this all the time. So, you know, seeing Tim Drake come in at this point, even though Batman's not going to take on a Robin straight away, for crying out loud, Jason's just died in this season, or, you know, so everyone thinks, it's going to be a nice long-term setup. Maybe not long-term. I just don't necessarily expect him to put on the Robin suit this season. I would expect him to be handed like the vigilante mask, like being handed it, and that's like the foreshadowing we get. But to put on the Robin suit, I don't know. But regardless, hyped for the journey.
Obviously, a big thing this season people are super excited about is Red Hood, Jason Todd. That backstory is super important in DC lore. Talk about the inspiration for Curran Walters' Jason Todd Red Hood combo? Because obviously, you know, we've got Batman the Killing Joke, we've got Batman Arkham Knight, and also the comics, the Death in the Family comics. So there are a lot of places to pull from.
Very good questions.
Are there any specific places that you guys have pulled from for this character with Curran Walters, or is this brand new Red Hood?
I don't think it's brand new Red Hood. I mean, you mentioned Death in the Family. I think that they're definitely comics we're pulling from that people will notice. I mean, it won't be hard to notice that, but more from an origin notion, you know, from where we start and then what we do with it and spin it goes in our own way. I think that's been true of a lot of the characters, and that's always a challenge, is trying to stay true to the core values or the core connection to the audience has with the characters, but trying to expand the character in our own more grounded, more psychologically real, you know, television show, and drama. So yeah, that's it. It definitely comes from, again, a lot of these core ideas are coming from books, and then we move them out of the books. But you'll notice for sure with Red Hood and Jason's descent into Red Hood is a little different than how it happens in the books, but a lot of the reasons are built both in our show and in the books.
So I love Greg Walker's response there, because I get so many comments, obviously covering all the stuff that I do, from perspectives that I can understand where they're coming from, but it's not, I wish sometimes people would look outside the box a bit more. Only with the sense that sometimes with regards to comments saying, that's not how it's supposed to be, people need to understand adaptations aren't copy and paste. So when material from like a Titans graphic novel series is adapted into a TV show, you're never going to have it copy and paste from comic book panels. So hearing him say it's true to the essence of, like, you know, Death in the Family or things like that, but we do it our own way as well at the same time, I'm obviously abbreviating here, is exactly what I've been saying this whole time. I do not expect it to go down every single route of how Jason dies. Like, whether, for example, his mother calls him, and that's how he gets lured to the Joker, or that doesn't happen. That's not a detail that needs to be done, and if it isn't done, that doesn't mean it needs to be scrutinized. Things can, when they're adapted, are innovative, meaning treading new ground, but also kind of keeping some of the source material that obviously, like, we're doing a Red Hood story. What's that? From the source material. But we might adapt it slightly different. So hearing this, it offers a fresh thing for older fans who are familiar with the Red Hood storyline, like we are, but also some surprising twists and turns. And but also, yeah, you have to, when you do that, you have to curate it carefully, like ring true to the character through and through. But yeah, like also while making some little changes and segues off and whatnot. So I have to commend Greg Walker here for his answers, and also big shout out to Matt Sheehan there, because his questions are fantastic. So yeah, I just hope everybody sucks that answer in, because I just want people's expectations to be... I don't want this season to get shat upon because how they did Red Hood, when they were never going to completely copy and paste to a very big... like, they could have... For example, we know the Joker is going to crowbar him. They could have deviated a lot further and not done that. They could have had Jason die some other way. So at least we're getting that. Do you know what I mean? But I'm going to shut up now.
A more general question about Dick and Corey. What can you kind of tell us about their dynamic or chemistry in season 3? A lot of people wanting to see them back romantically.
Yeah. Look, first of all, I want to say I love the fans' passion for that. I mean, it is really, it's, you know, it's in the books, but also there's a real chemistry between them. And I think that they are kind of the mom and dad of the team. And so in that way, there's a desire, a lot of good reasons to want them to be together. Dramatically, you know, we explore both of the characters individually. I felt, and you know, we always feel that while I think that there is a real promise in the Dick Corey relationship, I want to explore some more Corey rather than the Dick Corey. And so we kind of go into her past, and to why she is who she is, why she was sent, and what that dynamic is with her sister. So but there are some bombshells dropped, at least one about Dick and Corey that you can, a keen eye will be able to determine where we want to go with that.
Okay, so I like how he's playing coy with that, because I can read two ways out of that. It's like, I completely understand what fans want. I even agree with it, but we might not be doing like. But then again, whilst he kind of tries to stray away from it by saying we're focusing on Corey more rather than Dick Corey right now, and then same with, you know, Dick, he's going on a bit of his own journey. But then he like goes towards the end of it by saying, but there is like a bombshell which could, relate to Dickory. So just don't set yourself up for proper full-on fruition of Dickory this season. I've said in my speculation, as we know for a fact, Savannah Welsh's Barbara Gordon and Brenton Thwaites' Dick Grayson are rekindling their romance of old. But rekindling a romance doesn't mean entering a relationship. It might just, they might have a bit of fun, if you know what I mean, or they might have a bit of a romance since they're working together, dealing with the Scarecrow and Red Hood in Gotham. But I said maybe through that path they go on together, Dick realizes, hey, I have feelings for Corey. Like, that's where his heart truly lies. So I don't know if they're doing that. I'm reading out of this, maybe Dickory doesn't come to full fruition, but there is seeds sown for maybe the season 4 Dickory to blossom, just for any Dickory stands out there. I guess that is the answer you get for now.
Are there any new characters / old characters that we might be able to see brought back in from season 1 or 2 in season 3?
Good question. None that I can really think of. I mean, obviously we have Jonathan Crane this season, a huge addition played by Vincent Kartheiser. And that's a major character who will, explode across the screen. I think it's a bravura performance, a guy who really brought it his A game every day, and he's a lot of fun and he's scary. And then also we have, Barbara Gordon.
Well, I just need to pause it there. I love how he talks about Vincent Kartheiser's Scarecrow. Like, Greg has not really simmered down about that. So this means we are getting some cool Jonathan Crane scenes. I don't necessarily think we're going to see him as Scarecrow, but the fact he has such confidence in this actor is dripping off the show. Like, I can't wait.
A terrific add to the season, played by Savannah Welch, who just knocks it out of the park.
Barbara as well.
Someone who has used a chair, and it was important for us to find somebody who had that experience. So it's been, so there are people from the lore and from canon that you'll see, but the characters from season 1 and 2, I don't think so.
Any sort of expansion for Titans into the DC extended universe? A lot of people want to know.
Yeah, we'll keep doing it as long as they, as long as they ring the bell, we'll show up to fight. So there's a lot of stories to tell here.
That's good.
We've already had, nearly 10 great characters, and there's so many, the core 4 plus others we brought on, Hawk Dove, Aqualad, characters that we keep on bringing in, that we want to, we could cycle back, we could continue to tell different stories. So the world is rich and expansive, and we'll keep doing it as long as we can.
And is there any talk of possible spin?
Before we get into that as well, I don't think I've ever heard anyone from the show talk about the longevity of Titans as it continues. So it's good to hear the showrunner say, like, we'll keep the lights on as long as they keep the lights on. So Titans isn't going... And from just through the grapevine, I have heard, and this is the next question through spin-offs, like, there is an overarching plan, but you never know until you know. Like, they have ideas for, like, for example, Red Hood and the Outlaws, but you can't, like, until that dotted line is signed, it is discussed, but it doesn't mean it's happening. So it's very interesting getting into this now. Now, I believe Greg's answer, he plays it very coy. Now, that doesn't mean the spin-off shows have not been discussed. Of course, the showrunner of Titans isn't going to talk about a possible Red Hood and the Outlaws spin-off show before it's even been announced. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean.
Spin-offs. I know we've got like Doom Patrol and stuff. Is there anything more with that you can kind of hint to or talk about?
No, but I wouldn't be surprised if they appeared on screen. Titans has really focused a lot on struggle.
I like how he answers that. I wouldn't be surprised if they appear on screen, as in, I think he's referring to other shows, like, or other show ideas. He wouldn't be surprised if they come to fruition. And that's what Marvin George brought to it. It wasn't always, it wasn't just a sidekick book. It was a book about kids struggling with parents and trying to come into their own. And that's if we've embraced one thing, and I think we've embraced a lot, but if we really embraced one thing coming down to it's that struggle.
As the showrunner of Titans, this is going to be tough, but what is your favorite part about the show in general? Is there some one thing you can choose, or even a couple things?
That's a tough question. There's so much that I love about the show. Well, we've created a family in Toronto. We've created a family on screen. It's challenging, like any family. It taxes you and keeps you up late at night. I think I love when I see it click, and I just saw it when I was watching an episode last night, is this real sense of hope that comes with unity. And when we get it, and we really push against it, because, as you know, fans complain about it all the time, but we break them up all the time. We break people up. And to me, that's part of coming together. It makes the feeling of coming together so much stronger. And so that's what this season about, is trying to find hope in a place that's hopeless.
That's good.
And I feel like a lot of that is about, this Titans has been a struggle. It's taken 5 years to do 3 seasons. And and this year alone was 20 months to do 13, and we're still cutting.
So there you have it, guys. I liked what you said about, obviously the struggle there, because that's one thing I think is so misunderstood about Titans from people who are super critical of it, is that Batman and Robin, or Batman having Robins, for example, this is where I can put it. It's always seen through a lens of how that's completely okay. It's like, but, or like it's like a good relationship. But then, like, also completely, let's just change the filter. Apply a different filter over the camera lens. Then think about how Batman is having a kid with him out on the, like, you think that's a bit messed up almost. Like, I'm not saying it is, but do you see where I'm going with this? Titans paints the traditional canon, which isn't all too much different. It really isn't in the way this show is doing it. But the struggle, the lens that is placed over it is, for example, Dick Grayson's struggle with how he felt weaponized through what Bruce Wayne did through making him a Robin and raising him. That's no different to the comics. But the lens that's been put over it is more psychological, and that's what I really appreciate about this. And I think a lot of more people need to understand that's exactly what Titans is going for. Not you guys, but the more critical people. But anyway, that's this video. It's been going on for a while now. Massive shout out to Matt Sheehan TV. Check out this video, or should I say his channel, but give this video a like on his channel as well, because also subscribe to his channel, because there is that Red Hood interview coming as well. Maybe we will cover that in another video on this channel. But other than that, everyone, that is everything. As I said, I really want to hear your responses to my responses in the breakdown of the little promo trailer we got, but also my thoughts on the interview and what even Greg Walker said himself in Matt Sheehan's interview. Please don't forget that I am posting a non-spoiler review Friday, the 6th of August. 6th, I can't speak, of August, this week. So this Friday, with a non-spoiler review for Titans Season 3, the first 3 or 4 episodes, I believe. But that's everything. So give a video a like, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you all have a lovely rest of your day. I'll see you fellow Titans in the next video. Goodbye.